So now you have understood the concept of connecting to internet. We are going to see that in action by creating a small application. So I'm going to create a new application, name it new async internet, and I'm going to use minimum as 15 and empty activity and name it as main activity only. In this particular application, we have two parts. In first part, there will be a button. You click on that button, you get transferred to that particular URL, whichever you want to connect, and you get the data back. All the HTML data by which that web page has been designed. That HTML data will be back in your application, and you will show that in a text view using the scroll view, of course, because it's a large data. Second part will be, there will be a button. You click on that button and you will be able to download an image. So let's see how it is done. So first part I will go to my UI, and here, let me put something nice here. I will call it connect to internet. And let me increase the size, 24 maybe, 30. Great. So what will I do? I will create a button, and you click on the button. Let's say I call it connect to web page. Okay, and match parent. And when you click on this button, you need all the data to be shown in text view. Now that data can be a lot, right? So what I will do is I will create a scroll view, and inside scroll view I will create a text view so that I can see all the data. So first of all, I need to get the scroll view. I can get that from container category. Drag the scroll view. Which one? The horizontal scroll view. Drop it below your button. Now you don't want to do the height as match parent, maybe wrap content. Okay, you do want the width as match parent. That's right. That's all right. Now inside this scroll view, do you want the linear layout? Okay, if you don't want the linear layout, I just want a text view, right? I don't want to create a form here, so delete the linear layout. But inside this, you will drag and drop a text view. So just drop it here in your component tree. There you go. There is a text view now. If you want to give the ID to this text view, just select it from here, from the component tree, and go to this ID, and let's just say my result. Okay, that's fine. So match parent for this and this, and as of right now there is no text. It will be blank, but once you connect to the web page, when you click on the button, you get to your ACTask and you connect to the web page. After that, when you come back, when your response is coming back, the whole data will be coming here. Now, if you don't want, okay, let's just go to scroll view and give a particular height so that you can, you can see the data here. Let's just put 200. It's not that too much. Okay, it's too much. 100. Let's just put it 100 dp. If I want to a little bit to up, and let's just rearrange things here. Great. So this works for me. This UI works for me. All I need to do now is go to the XML part of this button. Put the on-click attribute. Let's say let's call it do something. And again, Alt Enter. Go here, and this is where you will be executing my ACTask class. But first, I need the ACTask class for that, right? So what I will do, I will just right click here, go to new, go to Java, and maybe I call it connect internet task. Yeah, and extend it with what? Async task class. And inside this, I need to put the generic type, 3 parameters, that is param, progress, and result. Param this time will be a string because you will be connecting to URLs, and result, that is progress, I'm not updating any progress bar, so I can put void. Result, you want it back as string again, so that's fine. Now you can go ahead and override that method, that is DoingBackground. We all know that method is DoingBackground. Okay, cool. Now, do I need to put any pre-execute here? I mean, am I showing any UI part before I actually launch my ACTask class? I don't think so. I'm not putting any UI part here. So it's good. I don't need to put the on pre-execute, but if you are putting any, showing any UI part, maybe progress bar or maybe any alert dialog, you need to put that in on pre-execute. Do I need on post execute? Yeah, definitely. I need on post execute. Sorry. Next is I will create a constructor of this. Let me just create the constructor, connect to internet task, and I will call it, inside this, I'm passing a context object CD. Great. Okay. Great. And I'll make it public. So now, as I'm using context object here, so here also I will pass a context object cdx, just in case if I'm gonna need it inside this class. Cdx is equals to cd. Okay, it's good practice to provide the context object if you are providing your ACTask class separately, not inside the same activity, not as an init class. Okay, once you do that, once this is the skeleton now, all you have to do is you have to put the coding to connect to the internet here. So how will I do that? Okay, I know I need a URL here first, that is to connect. So how can I pass that URL? First of all, how will I execute this async task? Let's just see how will I execute this async task first. I will go in my main activity. I need what? I need my connect to internet task, let's say C1 reference, and then inside DoingBackground C1 equals to new connect to internet task, and provide context object this. Next is just execute C1 dot execute. Now this time around, because I want to connect to some web page, I will pass an argument here, maybe http/www.google.com. There you go. So you see, you can see now that there is a website I want to connect. There is a link I want to connect. So this whole thing will be passed inside your DoingBackground. So that's what happens whenever you call the execute button, when you call the execute method. So it goes here. Now you need to get that. You need to get this data. You need to get this string which you have passed here. So how can I get that? I will put as it is a string. So string, let's say S1 equals to, everything is passed here, but as an array. So string and 0th position. Now let's say you are doing a multi-threading task. At that point of time, all you gotta do is comma, put another URL if you want to if you want to connect to another website. In the same way, comma, another URL. Okay, that's for multi-threading. If you are not doing any multi-threading, you can just go ahead and get the data from the 0th position. If you are, then you have to get the data by using for each loop. So here now I know this is a string right now, this whole thing, and I will get HTTP and website name, but I need to convert it in URL. So I have URL object, URL. I need to create a URL object. Let's say my URL equals to new URL, and put S1 there. Now this statement will give you a exception. What kind of exception? That is URL malformed exceptions. Like instead of HTTP, you just write HTTP, or you forgot the forward slash. Instead of providing forward, you provide backslash. So those kind of malfunction exception can be generated. So you have to surround it with try and catch. And I know they can. I will be using HTTP URL classes also, and input stream also, output stream also. So I will just use exception class because those classes will also generate the exception. So I will just use the root class exception, and everything will be handled. Next you need is HTTP URL connection class object. So my con equals to, how do you connect? Well, my URL dot open connection. But you need to typecast this in your HTTP URL connection. Okay, so once you do that, you have a URL connection object now. All you gotta do is you gotta configure it. If you want to set a readout time, you can set a readout time, maybe 10 seconds or If you want to set a connection timeout, you can set a connection timeout, maybe 20 seconds. Okay. Sorry, instead of get, you need to put set. Yeah. Or you need to also set the request method, whether you are putting it in get or post. Set request method, let's say get. If you're passing the data, try to put post in that case. And then dot. At the end, you do need to do connect. Once you do that, okay, it's connected. Now, if you want to, once it is connected, the response will be back to you. So what you can do is to get the response. Of course, the response will be in a stream that also will be input stream. Input. So I can create an input stream object at the top, IN, and then I can go ahead, IN equals to mycon. It's inside your URL connection object. Get input stream. So now whatever the response whatever the data you got back, it's inside in now. So to convert it into the string, what I need is I will use an efficient way, that is buffered input stream, buffered reader. Yeah, I will use buffered reader. Let's say my buff equals to new buffered reader, and it will take input stream reader object and pass your input stream object in. After that, okay, I'm gonna iterate through this buffer reader object. Before I do, I might want to get the object of string builder to format my string, whatever the data I'm getting back in one single object, string builder. Okay, and I might want to, I will be reading it as a line by line, so I want to create a string to hold that line. So now I can iterate through it while line equals to myBuff dot read line. So whatever you are reading, it will, whatever the line you are reading, it will get saved in your line string object. And then if it is not equals to null, that is if you still haven't reached to the end of the line, then just keep on appending it to your string builder, append, and append what? Your line plus, and next time you just go to your next. There you go. So now everything is inside your ST. So all you gotta do is return this ST, because that's what this DoingBackground does. It returns the data you want to it returns the result type, whatever the result type you want to return. It's string, right? So all you gotta do is, now before you return, you do want to close your streams, so in a reverse chronological order. So myBuff dot close and n dot close, and okay, so now you can do what? You can do return st dot toString. Okay, great. So it is returning back. So if everything goes right, your whole data will be returned back as st, and it will come where? In post execute. Now inside post execute, you can actually update your UI. But as of right now, which UI I really want to update? I want to update this text view, which is inside my activity. Now, do I have the access of text view here inside my ACTask class? No. So first of all, I need to get the access of that text view. So for that, I will define the text view first, text view object. Let's say my text. Now, I cannot just define a normal text view object. I will define static so that I can use it without creation of the object. I will just use it with the name of the class. And here, I will need to get the access, my text. Text, just like I give access to any view, find view by id, r.id dot text view. I guess that's the ID. No, the ID which I have gave is my result. Okay, so it's not text view, it's my result. There you go. So all I need now in my connect internet task is just put what main activity dot your my text, that is text view object, dot set text. What is the set? S, because whatever you are returning is from st, that is this whole string builder class. Whatever the data you got, it will come in as, and that will be set in your text view. And that's all you need to do, but we are still forgetting something, and that is my permissions. So if I go now, as of right now, I'm not using any connectivity manager classes, am I? No. So I don't even need the access state permission here, but I do need the internet permission. Okay, let's just talk uses. So how do I add permissions? Uses permission. If you do not add this permission, your application will get crash. So that's your internet permission. Now, if I am using connectivity classes also, so for that purpose, I need to, okay, let's just do it without connectivity classes first. Press OK. Because I'm not using any connectivity manager classes, so I don't need to use the permission for that. But that's not a pretty handy way to use ACTask class when you are connecting to internet, because you don't want to, provide all these resources, all these classes if there is no internet at all in your device. So first, it's a good practice you check that there is an internet, then only give the access of ACTask class. So let's just connect, and there you see, right? All the data, as you can see, it's in text view now. So everything will be in HTML. So that Google page HTML data, that's your source code. So what exactly I'm talking about? If you go here and type google.com, and you see the views page source, that this whole thing, the source code has been shown to you here, this whole thing. So it shows that I have connected to the internet indeed, right? So that was the way to connect to the internet. Now let's just move on to the second part of this application, where I'm connecting to the internet and downloading an image. So the same thing, all I need to do is button. Okay, this time let's just put a button. And I will call it open image. And below this time around, I don't need a text view. I need what? A image view. So here below, I'll put an image. For now, this is the image. But of course, I will be changing it according to my requirement. And match parent and fit XY. Skill tab fit XY. And if you don't want anything right now inside it, just remove this. Okay, just give the ID to this guy. Let's say my image. Okay, great. So my UI is ready. All I gotta do is, again, I will be needing the access of image view here. Again, I will put it as static image view my image, and I will get it here, my image equals to image view find view by ID r.id dot my image. Okay, not my image, but what's the ID I gave? Let's just check out. Let's just put it my image result. Okay, come back here, my image result, my image result, and here just make sure you have this. Okay, now I have the access of my image view here also. Now let's say in this particular part I want to access that connectivity manager class. So to access that connectivity manager, let's say my con manager, and I will be needing the network info object also, my info. So as soon as you connect to the internet, to your application or your activity opens up, I will assign my connectivity manager object. How can I do that? Well, typecast to connectivity connectivity manager and get system services and pass connectivity service. There you go. And at the same time, you can give my network info, my info equals to whatsoever is the active network right now, give the access of that. Now in this way you can you can use this for your second button. So let's say when you click on this button you want to open up your image. So I will again go here in the button part of open image. I will click on click, and here I will put, let's say, download image, and again I will create this same method inside my Java or activity class. And here, before right away calling the ACTask class, I will create the ACTask class for this also. I will check if my info is not equal to null and my info dot is connected. So that means if internet is perfectly fine, then do this. Else we can show a toast, that is toast dot make text this, and put internet not connected and show dot show. Okay, great. So this is how you can handle your connectivity manager, connectivity manager classes. And if you are using these classes, so in your manifest file you do need to provide the permissions of access network now, otherwise your compiler will yell at you. So again, access network state. Cool. Okay, now I have to provide a ACTask class for downloading an image also. Again, I will do right click, I'll call it download image task. Again, extends this time, and when I do extends, I will do async task, and param will be again string. Am I progressing? I'm not putting any progress bar, but you can put a progress bar. At that point of time it will be integer, and the result will be this time bitmap, because that's what I want result this time. Implement DoingBackground, and you can see the return type of DoingBackground is bitmap now. So everything which you just did to connect to the internet, this will remain same. So I can copy this whole thing up until, okay, let me just copy this whole thing and then I will tell you which thing I don't need, or you can just hard code it again here. Okay, so I don't need this, I don't need this now till this point. I don't need any of this. Now I have everything inside my in. So what will I have inside this? The main difference here now will be when I will be calling this class, when I will be calling this is download image task. So I will be creating the object of this class also, that is download image task. Let's say download image, and when it is connected, when internet is there, then only do that. Do a download image equals to new download image task. That's it, and then execute. Now here I will be not just passing any URL, I will be passing a image URL, a URL which takes me to an image, and so that I can download it, right? So when I pass, I will pass that URL in a bit. So when I pass that URL, it will come here S1, and again I have an input stream, and then I will create it as a URL, and again all my HTTP URL classes objects will be there. I will open the connection. There will be a readout time. There will be a request method, and everything I'm getting now is back in my input stream. What is inside my input stream? Inside my input stream is a image now. All I have to do is decode that image. So how can I do that? All I have to do is I will create a bitmap object. Let's say my map. I can put in. I need to decode, right? So I need to use bitmap factory methods dot decode stream, and pass your input stream here. That's all. And return this my map. So if everything goes right, your application or your DoingBackground will be returning an image. And at the end, that is on post execute, because this will be coming back to your on post execute. Now here you want to set your UI, and UI is what? Your image, that is which I have already defined, already given the access, as you can see, image view. So all I need to do is, as it is static dot my image dot set image bitmap, and pass your bitmap here. So good, everything is good. All I need now is that particular URL, and URL should be an image. So let's just go here and try to find some cool images. Download images. Cool images. Okay, and let's just go over one of these images. Let's just download Android cool images. Okay, this look good. I just don't want any URL. Make sure at the end of the URL there is JPEG or PNG. So let me just go to visit image at the end. It's not the one. Okay, and paste it here. Yeah, as you can see at the end there is a JPEG now. Copy this. Depends upon how heavy your image is. Accordingly it will take time. Now come back to your Android Studio, paste the URL here. Now if you have more image to download, all you have to do is comma and put the more, and accordingly you will handle it in your DoingBackground. So let's just for now put it just one and run this. Now what will I do is, before I really connect to this, let me just run this again. Stop this, and let me just turn off my internet here. Okay, now there is no internet, as you can see, right? So when I run this application, it should show me a toast that not working, internet not working. Oh sorry, that is this will not work. See, internet not connected. Cool, right? So that's good. So let's just now turn on the internet, right, and run this application again. Now it should show me my image. I mean, it will take time to load that image, but ultimately it should download the image and should show me here if everything is all right. There you go, right? So it took time because the image size was big, and you have downloaded the image, whatever the image URL you pass. So that's how you can use the, even if you connect it to this right now, that's also works. So that's how you can connect to the internet and how you can download the images. In the same way, you will be using the services also. All you gotta do is put the services URL while you are connecting to that particular web page, and accordingly parse the data back inside this only in the form of JSON. I would recommend you to go back in your Gitbook and try those web services example also. So that's how you can use the ACTask class and connect to the internet. Thank you.